only on 97.7 The Zone. Want to call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline? We have a new number for you. 888-256-576-4977.
Hold it, hold it!
That's 256-576-4977.
Well, what do you know?
We promise this number will be the one we keep. Management Hotline, we have a new number for you. 88.
You know it, and I know it. Sometimes a brand new car or truck just isn't in the budget. That's where we come in. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and I want to talk to you about the advantages of buying a Ford Gold certified used car or truck. These are low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. A 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive limited warranty and a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Woody Anderson Ford Gold certified vehicles have passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians and come with a 24-hour roadside assistance too. You'll also get a Carfax vehicle history report and 22,000 Ford Pass reward points to use for future scheduled maintenance or other accessories. Plus, before you leave in your gold certified used car, we'll be sure to give you a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change, even new wiper blades. Gold certified vehicles at Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
The PGA Tour's Korn Ferry Tour is coming to the Rocket City. Join us at the Ledges for the inaugural Huntsville Championship, April 29th through May 2nd. Experience the beauty and drama of the course firsthand. Witness golf's rising stars chase their PGA Tour dreams. Cheer on the future of golf up close and personal. Tickets are on sale now at HuntsvilleChampionship.com.
Her 4-acre lot into a little slice of heaven behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. Renee runs with us because the most important job is the next one.
That's all I got.
Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1 Series tractor for just $99 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free.
Oh, welcome in, everybody. This is your pre-show chat here on Facebook Live, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. We appreciate everybody for waking up with us on this Friday morning. Now, we do have a couple Twitter questions out there, and we're going to explain why we have them out there here once we join the radio audience. But head to our Twitter page, and we want you to take a look at what we have on there. What we have is two questions. Number one, the first one is, if you could create a college football rivalry that doesn't already exist, who would it be? Okay, if you could create a college football rivalry that doesn't exist, who would you create right now as far as college football rivalries go that doesn't exist? That is what we want for you this morning. And then also, which is the greatest rivalry in the SEC? Is it the Iron Bowl, the Egg Bowl, or the world's largest outdoor cocktail party? Georgia, Florida, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, or Alabama, Auburn? Which one is the best? There's a reason why we're asking this question this morning. And we're going to explain what that reason is coming up here in just a little bit once we join the radio audience. So 256-576-4977. That's the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. We want you to get in on the show this morning so you can help us answer that question, those two questions, okay? 256-576-4977. We have got a ton of great topics to get through this morning, a lot of great stuff to get through. We got some college football to talk about. We got some baseball to talk about. We have some NFL draft stuff to go through. We got a lot of stuff. There is a big war now between Alabama A&M and some comments being made about Jackson State and Deion Sanders. We'll talk about that. Vanderbilt has a player in the transfer portal on the football side. Could he end up at Auburn? We'll explain. Like I said, we have got a lot to get through in these 2 hours. Plus, we got to get your phone calls. So come on in this morning and join us.
Or 97.7. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Okay, mic's on.
And welcome in. It is our Friday edition of Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Glad you could be a part of the show on this Friday morning. Hopefully the weather will be good for us on this Friday. Hopefully the sun will shine and it'll warm up. This cold stuff in the morning is for the birds, and it's got to move out of here. But welcome in, 256-576-4977. That's the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. We want you to be a part of the show and be a part of the fun this morning. And we've got a lot of stuff on the table to get through. We've got a lot of stuff to be a part of. And I give you the phone number because if you head to our Twitter page this morning, and we're going to explain why we have these questions on Twitter, because they all kind of go with the show and they go with things that we have to talk about this morning. And one of them has to do with comments that Paul Feinbaum made recently. And, of course, you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. And one of those things that he mentioned was that Florida and Georgia have overtaken the SEC as far as the best rivalry in the conference. That it has surpassed the Iron Bowl. Florida, Georgia, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, played every year in Jacksonville, Florida. According to Paul Feinbaum, has said that Florida, Georgia has overtaken Alabama and Auburn as the best league's rivalry. Now, that comes on the heels of Momo Sanogo. That's the Ole Miss linebacker. Okay, he says that the Egg Bowl ranks as the SEC's best rivalry. Mississippi State, Ole Miss. And he says that no shot any other team has the rivalry like we do. He says Auburn and Alabama, they're still friends after the game. He says there's no friendship here. It's a fun rivalry to be a part of, he says, but people got to show up to see what it's like. No chance the Iron Bowl has this. This is coming from an Ole Miss linebacker. And that's fine for him to say that because he plays in the Egg Bowl. So the question this morning that we have on Twitter is this. What is the best SEC rivalry? Is it still the Iron Bowl, Alabama-Auburn? Is it the Egg Bowl, Mississippi State, Ole Miss? Or is it the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, Florida and Georgia? Has there been a shift among the rivalry games? 256-576-4977. That is the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. That's how we start you on this Friday morning here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone's Talkin Ball. Has there been a shift? Now, the other one, if you head to our Twitter page, and we hope that you do, at 977 ESPN, because if you do, you can watch Talkin Ball right there on your Twitter page. We're live on Twitter, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch, and YouTube, by the way. We're also there on YouTube. The other question that we have is, okay, so those are the three rivalry games right now that we're talking about. But in college football, doesn't have to be just in the SEC, in college football, if you could create a college football rivalry that doesn't already exist, who would you put? Who would you create right now? In college football, what college football rivalry would you create that doesn't exist? Maybe an Arkansas-Oklahoma game. They haven't faced each other for almost 100 years, but Arkansas-Oklahoma. Would you create something like that? But anyway, that's how we start you this morning. Has the cocktail party supplanted or overtaken the Iron Bowl as the best rivalry in the conference? According to Paul Feinbaum, it has.
No. Sorry. Hasn't. I know Florida finally beat them this past year, and I think McElwain beat them once. Or maybe that was Muschamp. I think it was Muschamp, actually. But no. Because the reason I say that is both teams have not been nationally relevant. Florida has not made the playoff. Auburn has not either, but Auburn did play for a national title. Last time the Gators played for one was 2008.
Right.
Many, many moons ago with Urban Meyer as the head coach. So, sorry. For me to say which rivalry is the best, it has to be nationally relevant. And that's why Ohio State, Michigan's not, because it's not a rivalry. Michigan's terrible. But I think Florida's on the right track. Mullen did finally beat him before he laid a turd against LSU. But I think no. I'd say no because, Gus Malzahn just got fired and went to Central Florida. But let's not misunderstand something. He beat Alabama the year before. Okay? And the reason it's nationally relevant is because while Auburn didn't win a championship, Alabama was in championship contention, was knocked out by Auburn. And so to me, and then what was the linebacker's name again?
Okay, let me pull this up. It is, and I'm hoping I'm saying it right, Momo Sanogo.
Whatever. I just wanted you to say it because I couldn't remember. But I think it's a very passionate rivalry, Ole Miss and State, but there's a problem. Both of them suck. That's the big problem. Okay? When you both suck and you're not nationally relevant,
yes,
and you're lucky to make a bowl game, even though State has been a consistent bowl team due to Dan Mullen. Ole Miss has been a roller coaster, some of that because of Hugh Freeze and, PayPal or whatever the hell they were doing. But,
I was going to say PayPal would have been popular back when Hugh Freeze. It would have probably just been hitting the scene when
Venmo is already taken, so is Western Union, so had to be PayPal. Growing up, or what as I used to call it, growing up wanting to be a rebel when you lived in Chicago. Or if you're Robert Kimdichie, one of the best prospects I've ever seen, and you'd rather follow your brother and both jump off. Never mind. But anyway, I do think that Ole Miss and State is very passionate.
Right.
There's no question. I think it's in some ways, I think it's more passionate than Georgia and Florida because it's in the same state. But Sanogo, or whatever the hell his name is, saying that Alabama and Auburn guys are friends after the game. Maybe the football players are, but the fans sure as hell ain't.
He says,
I can tell you that.
He says, even in my high school, it was big, but after the game, it was whatever. He goes, Ole Miss, Mississippi State is a year-round rivalry. Every sport, tennis, every sport is a rivalry. It's just crazy.
I agree with it. Matter of fact, that's why I think it's bigger than Florida and Georgia.
So you would put the Ole Miss, Mississippi State ahead of Florida and Georgia?
Yes, absolutely.
Behind the Iron Bowl?
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't think there's any other one in the SEC. There's only those three, right? Are we missing one? No.
Well, Vandy and Tennessee, but again, the suck.
That's
even though the baseball, since they're both awesome right now,
right,
was really good this past weekend. Okay, but the problem is Vandy's not any good at anything else except bowling. So that's the problem.
Okay.
So, but I mean, Florida and Georgia is a really good rivalry. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying to say that it surpassed the Iron Bowl and the Egg Bowl, hell no. No, it hadn't. There's no way. And so I just think, but I will say, due to the fact that both of them are on the same level as far as national relevance in a lot of stuff, Ole Miss and State is very passionate. I mean, because they're both fighting for relevancy.
Mike.
To me. But Alabama-Auburn has always been relevant.
Okay.
As soon as, you can say that as soon as Coach Dye got to Auburn. Because it immediately became fist fights. The 80s Iron Bowls were unbelievable. And, yes, they're better than Ohio State, Michigan. Get out of here.
Let's go to the neighbors.
That's not even a rivalry right now. It's a joke.
Let's go to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Mike is with us.
Is all that matters.
Mike is with us right now. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, Scott. Good morning, Drew. How you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Hey, on rivalry games, if you talk about relevance, I think there's an argument that could be made that within the conference, Alabama LSU may have been the most relevant game over the last decade. Now, I've been to a few Iron Bowls and I watched, you're right. Drew is absolutely right. At the end of the game, the players, I watch the players. I stay after the game, and those guys are very respectful, but it ain't that way in the crowd.
No.
So, I would say that on the Big Ten, I would offer up maybe Ohio State, Penn State is a more relevant game than Michigan. When one team beats the other 15 times in a row.
Yeah.
15 times in a row is no longer a freaking rivalry. So I just wanted to offer up some comments.
Well, Mike,
that's true. That's some good points.
I'll say this. It's not nationally relevant, but it's more a rivalry Michigan and Michigan State than it is Michigan-Ohio State, because at least there's been some back and forth in that game. And, of course, Mel Tucker beat Michigan last year. Hell, who didn't? But, but the thing is, but you make a great point about LSU, Alabama. Now, it's really only in football, even though this year's basketball got spicy because of the Watford thing. But Watford looks like he's gone with the wind to play in the G League. And maybe he'll create or be able to eventually get to the NBA. But I think it's going to be a longer road because I don't think he's going to be a first rounder. But he's got the skill level to eventually carve out a place for himself. But I just think that Alabama LSU, because of what's been at stake with nationally, with both teams winning championships in football, you could say that it's definitely been better than Georgia, Florida. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
Think Scott. My God.
So we would put the
2011
game, rivalry.
The 2011 game. Yes, the 2011 game changed college football because Tim Brando had an aneurysm. And everybody couldn't believe that, oh, my Lord, two teams from the same conference were the two best teams. Even though if you had a functioning brain, it was really easy to tell. But if you had an agenda and you hated the SEC and you're a schmuck, then you start, we just can't have this. We've got to put a college football playoff in. And then by 2017, what happened? Georgia and Alabama were playing each other. No matter what you do, you can't stop it. I'm just telling all you morons. And that's the moron of the day today, people, the national media. You can't stop it, you bunch of woke clowns. You just can't. Because the SEC is the best league. If you put 8 teams in it, they're going to get 3 or 4, and then eventually they're playing each other. Hell, probably, and it'll make everybody's brain explode up in the Midwest. Eventually, 3 of the 4 will be from the SEC. Hello, you guys suck. That's why.
There's your answer, Mike.
That was quite an answer. Hey, let me just one final comment, and I'll hop off here.
Okay.
And this goes back several weeks to something I heard, and it just freaking blew my mind from one of the other callers. And I will just say that I'm a diehard Alabama fan, have been. I can remember watching and crying when Nebraska thumped them in the 71 Orange Bowl. But when bowl season rolls around, when March Madness rolls around, I am a diehard Southeastern Conference fan. Nobody was more pissed off when Auburn got robbed by Virginia in the Final Four 2 years ago So to hear a caller say that he only pulls for his team and then against the other conference team blew my mind. So I'll leave it at that.
We know exactly who that is, and that's Mr. Grumpy. And he may call in today, but we know exactly what that is. And yeah, that kind of caught us caught us kind of off guard as well. Thanks for the call, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
All right.
Richard.
Let's go and let's stay on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Richard with us on a Friday. Good morning, Richard.
Hey, Drew, Scott.
Good to see you yesterday, Richard. How are you?
Hey, yeah, good to see you. One thing is Georgia, Florida is like the old Iron Bowl, though, where you have 50-50.
Yeah, it is.
So that, probably the day of the game, if you're there, it may be a better atmosphere than Alabama Auburn now, but not watching on TV, like you said. As far as the the impact of the game, but if you're there, there's nothing like kind of the old Iron Bowl games when you had 50-50. Like one side of the stadium is standing up cheering and the other side's crying out. And and Georgia, Florida has that going on, but like I said, you would have to be at the game to see it. You can't see it, watch it on television.
Right.
Yeah, you'd have to. But I'll say this: I've been to Iron Bowls in Tuscaloosa, and they're loud and crazy. And then everybody's seen the voodoo that happens in Jordan-Hare. I mean, think about the last game when the 2 pick sixes were the difference, and it was 48-45. I mean, Gus Malzahn.
But you're having 90% versus 10%.
Oh, you are.
Florida.
See, and that's the thing. I got here a year too late. I got here in 99 was my first year. That's my first Iron Bowl is 99. So I have missed the Legion Field pageantry of Iron Bowls. I have only seen Bryant Denny and Jordan-Hare Iron Bowls. So
when you got Texas, Oklahoma is the same thing. I don't know if you may have some smaller schools, but Texas, Oklahoma is
the Cotton Bowl.
50. Yeah, the Cotton Bowl. So that's 50-50. But like I said, that would be, you wouldn't see that on television as much as you would unless you're there.
Yeah, and
where you would have half and half, or maybe like one of these kickoff classics. Although usually Alabama outdraws, like when we played Michigan in Dallas or something. But like I said, that's the only thing I would say. Would be make it exciting if you're at the game. This one is kind of a 50-50 seating out. But like I said, watching on television, because like you said, when the teams aren't it doesn't matter. You might as well watch Ole Miss, Mississippi State.
Well, yeah, and you got to understand right now, if you're a Michigan fan playing Alabama, you'd be in a bunker with a helmet on.
So, no, but that was my only point is because I used to live over in Atlanta.
Yeah.
One funny thing is during the Spurrier era, right before, I guess during the Herschel era is when I moved over to Atlanta. And, all my Georgia buddies they'd go down for the week. I mean, they'd go down and golf in Jacksonville and and all of a sudden Spurrier came in and I asked my buddy, I said, "You going down for the week?" He goes, "No, we're flying down the day of the game and coming back because Spurrier keeps beating us. We don't want to be there." They went from staying a week to staying this one time a day.
Wow.
So,
well,
good luck, guys.
Well, thanks for the call, Richard. All right, 256.
And I'm not belittling the Georgia-Florida rivalry. I think it's a significant one.
No. But that's what we're talking about.
Overtake Alabama-Auburn? No, it hasn't.
Right. That's where it's still a great rivalry.
Because don't forget, man. Don't forget that Florida turned around after this spectacular rivalry and laid a turd against LSU. Okay? So, to me, I know what they're trying to say. Well, Auburn wasn't very good last year either. Well, I'm sorry, but Florida finished with a thud too, and Georgia, of course, anointed themselves champions in August like they always do, and then fell flat in the 2 biggest games.
All right, let's go back to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Jay's with us on a Friday. Good morning, Jay.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, Jay. How are you, sir?
Hey, first of all, Drew, I hate to miss last night. My son had a baseball game.
No worries, brother. We had a good one. Rodney came up, and we all were unaware that Greenbrier was closing at 8 instead of 8:30, so Rodney had to be abruptly stopped pretty much. But he was on a roll. He was doing a great job last night. We took it up. We took it to the limit. We stretched it.
That's awesome. Y'all said it all. The Iron Bowl is the best rivalry in college football. I mean, I hate to say this, but, had moments like punt, Bama punt, kick six, Van Tippen's kick. And besides, if it wasn't for Alabama and LSU's off week, I mean, Florida and Georgia plays that weekend. Alabama and LSU both off. So if Alabama played, everybody be watching Alabama instead of that game.
Yeah, see, if Feinbaum had said Alabama LSU, I would have probably agreed with him in some ways because of the national significance. But saying it's Florida and Georgia, I mean, what the hell? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what was in his espresso or something, but it was. Woo.
It's crazy.
Man,
because
maybe he just had the vaccine. I don't know.
I'd rather watch.
You're on fire this morning.
I got to get my second shot next week, brother.
You come in. You come in hot this morning.
Yeah.
Scott, you got a ringside seat there, buddy.
Well,
but
I got out of the car, said coming in hot.
Hey, I'd rather watch Army Navy. It's probably the Egg Bowl, you know.
Yeah.
For a rivalry game.
And
guys, y'all have.
Yeah, it's
y'all
right,
have a
Jay.
great rest of the day.
All right, thanks, Jay.
And we got another rivalry we've heard on our airwaves for many, many years. Our good friend Paul,
another Jay.
Paul from JP2 just sent us in. This is correct. Army Navy.
Yeah, that's what Jay just said. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let's go. Let's get one more in real fast. Jay is with us, a different Jay, on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Good morning, Jay.
Hey, it's Jason.
Jason, what's up?
Sorry.
Oh, not much. Paul Feinbaum don't know nothing about no daggone sports. I mean, he is ignorant. You know what he goes by? How he likes teams and rivalries. How the coaches dress and how they handle the press conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows how to create conversation.
Yeah. He is such a waste of time. I mean, I tried to listen to him, but I always have to put it on the Tuscaloosa channel because he is awful. I mean, I just can't handle him. Alabama and Auburn, when they get after it every year, I don't care if it's 40 to nothing. They're going to play hard. I mean, Florida, I've seen them lay down and not even participate in the ball game against Georgia. I mean, it's not even close.
Well, Dan Mullen does want to zoom in recruiting.
Right.
That's all he's going to do is zoom.
I mean, Dan Mullen had Dak Prescott down there, and Ole Miss would have a 2-9 team, and they beat Dan Mullen, 40-10 in the ball game.
Well, I mean, it's a heck of a rivalry. I think it's underrated, but certainly I think it's ahead of Florida Georgia in my mind, especially with the high-profile coaches they have now. It's going to be a fun rivalry when you got Mike Leach and Lane Kiffin. Both of them will say anything.
I mean, if you go by rivalry, it's Alabama LSU right now, then Alabama and Auburn.
But
then you just pick what you like from the rest of me.
Yeah. All right, Jason.
I got one question.
Yeah, real fast.
Sure.
On the basketball at Alabama, if all three of the players come back, which player do you think is leaving the team?
Well, I mean, that's a great question. We've speculated on James Rojas. Cecil Hurt has tweeted that, in his opinion, with a close relationship with the staff, he thinks Rojas would stay. I only assumed that Rojas might leave to play somewhere else and play a bigger role because I'm not sure how big a role he'll have next year, but we'll see. And Javon Quinterly hasn't declared yet. We'll see if and when he does. Right now, it's just Josh Primo and, of course, Jaden Shackelford. Primo with the one that's got the best chance of going in round one, but still has a lot of work to do, and I think would benefit greatly from a second year of college.
He would. All right, well, thank you, y'all.
All right, thanks, Jason. All right, let's get a break in. When we come back, got to bring in our first guest of the morning.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Still looking good this morning. Traffic at a heavy level all across the valley. Some areas getting some light rain, so that's going to slicken things up just a bit. You be careful on your ride in. From routine care to heart failure, Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialists have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Doctor visits are important. Please don't put them off. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Sitting here with Ann Adams of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Rise Real Estate. Is it a good time to sell your home, Ann?
Yes, it is. We have people relocating from all over the country.
Why should we choose Rise Real Estate?
Well, we've been selling real estate in North Alabama for 36 years and have sold more real estate than any other real estate company, period.
Do you help your customers through the entire process?
Yes, our agents are with you during the whole process from start to finish, from beginning to end.
In your relocation services, you have a whole team.
Yes, we have a dedicated relocation department helping customers move seamlessly into the area.
Ann Adams has been writing contracts for the last 36 years. She has the experience to help you list and sell your home, downsize your home, or help pick the perfect spot north of Alabama for you to build a future.
Call Ann Adams at 256-337-2625 or on the web at www.bhhsriserealestate.com.
The PGA Tour's Corn Ferry Tour is coming to the Rocket City. Join us at the Ledges for the inaugural Huntsville Championship, April 29th through May 2nd. Experience the beauty and drama of the course firsthand. Witness golf's rising stars chase their PGA Tour dreams. Cheer on the future of golf up close and personal. Tickets are on sale now at HuntsvilleChampionship.com.
Tom Luganbill here for Woody Anderson Ford. When I was in the Tennessee Valley, one of the things that impressed me the most was the quality of the people. People like Bobby White and his team at Woody Anderson Ford. And now you can experience the tremendous new service lanes and showroom at Woody Anderson Ford, at Jordan and Sparkman, or just stop by for breakfast or lunch at Henry's Mustang Cafe. And in Madison, visit Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, just south of 72. Like a great college football tradition, always there, Woody Anderson Ford.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Coming up next, it's the Tom Abraham Show with me, Tom Abraham. Now back to more Talkin Ball with Scott and Drew.
Here in just a few minutes, Jake Crain will join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline as we talk some Auburn basketball and some Auburn football as well, as Auburn wrapped up everything last week. And he actually talked about this exact same topic on his Twitter page, and he also brought it up on his show, the J-Boy Show. And he says, at Feinbaum said the UGA-UF rivalry was more intense, more meaningful to the SEC, and that Auburn fans have waved the white flag in the Iron Bowl. And he, too, disagrees with Paul Feinbaum on that. So it'll be interesting to get his takes on that when he joins us.
Yeah, he's going to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, we hope, in a minute.
Got to check.
And now he is with us,
okay.
The host of the daily sports program from 6 days a week now, this podcast. It's one of the fastest growing in the country. He's had some outstanding guests this week, including Mohamed Sanu. He covers a lot of topics, but especially collegiately, but also even in the NFL because the NFL draft is upon us next week. He's done an outstanding job. He's been with us on multiple occasions, and more news coming from the Plains yesterday, basketball-wise especially. And we're going to talk to Jake Crain here next. Jake, you're with Drew and Scott. Good morning, brother.
Hey, man, appreciate y'all having me back on. How y'all doing?
We are doing well.
Good.
And the topic du jour this morning, I already have gone nuclear on this, but Paul Feinbaum, of course, saying that Florida-Georgia is now the #1 rivalry in the SEC. I completely disagree with him. I still think if you're just focusing on football, it's Alabama-LSU. But if you're focusing on the entirety and the intensity and the national relevancy, it's Alabama-Auburn. Your thoughts on the rivalries in this league?
Yeah, well, to me, I think there's an argument to say that maybe the Alabama-Auburn game hasn't been the most meaningful rivalry from a, perspective of winning championships. Now, there's an argument to be made for it, but I guess there's a decent argument you can make against it. But to say that the Georgia-Florida rivalry is more intense or that Auburn fans have waved the white flag, especially when you're 2-2 in the last 4 games,
right?
To me, it just makes no sense. And I released a video on YouTube explaining why I disagreed very heavily and strongly. To me, it was just a comment that lacked not only a lot of evidence, but really just a lot of support, and it almost felt pretty clickbaity to me. And I just don't. I don't see a world in where you have a rivalry, like Alabama and Auburn that's in state. And there's been a lot decided and a lot, on the line dictated by that game. And it's not like it's been just Auburn's been really the only team that can beat Alabama every now and then.
Right. Yeah, we were talking about that. Gus did it 3 times. And even when Auburn, of course, 1 year in 13 played for the national title. And then and in 17, they were 1 win away in the SEC championship game for playing in the college football playoff. And you can argue, like in 19, they kept Alabama out of the playoff. So then they played a huge spoiler role in the national picture. So to me, and lately the Florida-Georgia rivalry has been kind of one-sided. So until Dan Mullen got over the hump last year. So to me, a rivalry is when it's back and forth, and that's what it is with Alabama, Auburn. And then with Ole Miss, Mississippi State, it's very intense. But the problem is, as I said on the show, they both aren't very good most of the time. So to me, it's not nationally relevant. But to swing back in to Auburn, it's been like a daily. I mean, you almost have to be like, I'm sure you've got a bat phone of your own, Jake. You've almost got to have it right next to you for this basketball situation. Because first of all, I was pretty surprised yesterday about the Alexander situation. Did that come out of left field? Or I know you've had your finger on the pulse of these roster moves for Bruce Pearl. How surprising was the decommitment yesterday of Terry Alexander?
Yeah, it was pretty surprising. I think this is something that not was bubbling up, but there were some whispers, and then the Desi Stills commitment really kind of finished it off. Losing him, he's the guy that a lot of people had a lot of high hopes on. Maybe not as a starter early, but as a guy who would turn into a really good player and could be a big-time contributor as a freshman, and a guy you could see kind of replacing Justin Powell, who went to Tennessee. And, the thing is, he already signed as well. So he's got to get out of an LOI. He's got to do all those stuff, which I'm sure, Bruce Pearl and them aren't going to hold the kid hostage. But I was very surprised. There's a few names I think to keep an eye on. And people need to remember, some of these players have entered their name into the NBA draft but haven't signed an agent and aren't in the portal technically. And the portal's going to stay open. So with Trey Alexander gone, I still feel like there's a good chance Scoot Henderson is going to end up reclassifying and coming to Auburn. But also keep your eye on a guy named James Akinjo. He was all Pac-12 at Arizona last year, was a 4-star point guard coming out. He actually entered his name in the NBA draft, and I think he's going to come back to college and end up entering the portal, and I think Auburn's going to have a good shot there. I mean, he averaged 15, I think 7 and 3 for Arizona last year as a freshman.
We knew it was going to be the wild, wild west in college basketball, but I mean, this is getting crazy. This is literally free agency right now in college basketball, the way that Bruce Pearl and others are using this to literally retool a roster.
Yeah, I mean, it's pure free agency. The thing is, and you look at it from a coaching standpoint, yeah, it's nice to be able to go out there and plug some holes and get some experienced guys in spots you need. But how do you ever develop a foundation or a culture if you're not able to keep guys, more than 1 or 2 years? Then it just turns into, I mean, like you said, basically free agency. Hey, come play for us, and you're basically hiring mercenaries to come in every year, and you can't create any turnover action or any momentum or really establish an identity as a program. So it's got to be an absolute, I talk to the coaches and it's so crazy. I don't want to, bother them too much, but it's got to be a whirlwind.
Yeah, it really does. And again, Trey Alexander, the number 1 player in Oklahoma, a guy that Auburn had signed in November, as you said, that he's got to get out of his LOI in most situations. We saw this with Langston Wilson. That's going to be, Alabama. They had a parting of the ways with him. That's just a formality. He's had a lot of interest from schools. We'll see where he lands. But with Alexander, is it a situation where we've seen some movement within that state? Porter Moser at Oklahoma now had a lot of success at Loyola Chicago. I know the big focus is on Auburn, but you talk to a lot of coaches around the country. With Alexander, is it a situation where he's already kind of zeroed in on another school? Or because it sounds like what you're telling us, you always give us great intel that this did not catch Bruce Pearl completely off guard, and he's already ready to pivot and go back into the portal perhaps for the next edition.
Yeah, I don't think it was something that Bruce Pearl knew, expected was going to happen, but I don't think it's going to shock him by any stretch of the imagination. And yeah, he has a plan. I mean, it does open up another scholarship. Now you're at 2. I don't believe JT Thor is going to come back. When I look at Trey, I would expect either Arkansas, Oklahoma, or Kansas. Those are the 3 spots I think he'll land. I would put Arkansas and Oklahoma out front right now. So it's going to be very interesting to me because, look, these kids aren't going to decommit without a plan. And I'm not saying anybody's tampered with them or anything like that, but there was a plan in place. They're going to execute the plan. Like I said, he's got to get out of the LOI, so you can't talk to anybody, by the rules if you're still under that LOI. But no, I expect it to be probably Kansas, Oklahoma.
Well, let's talk about the guys, though, that Bruce Pearl has put in there. Walker Kessler, you mentioned Desi Sills. They've also had a couple guys that have signed their aid, their financial aid things in the last couple days. Talk about the guys that are actually coming in.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a really good haul. You lose Trey Alexander, but, Bruce has done a pretty good job. Wendell Green, the Eastern Kentucky transfer, really like his game. I think he's the guy who's going to help run the point. Especially if Scoot Henderson doesn't reclassify and come in, I think he's going to be your one at the point. You look at Zeb Jasper, the College of Charleston transfer, another guy that I know Bruce Pearl's really excited about, really fits what Bruce Pearl wants to do. I like him. I love him as an on-ball defender and as a transition player on offense. I think he's a guy that can do a lot of things. He can score from a lot of different ways, especially attacking the basket. Then you look at Desi Fields. I mean, before he got hurt, Desi was averaging 14.5 a game and shooting 42% from the three-point line and goes down against Mississippi State. He's a veteran guard. Veterans win in March. That's kind of how it goes. And bringing in a guy that I think he's going to be a true 2, maybe able to play some emergency 1 if they have to. But Walker Kessler, I mean, you get an absolute tree, a guy that's 7'1", that can run the floor, can be a 3-and-D guy. So Bruce Pearl's really bringing in a nice roster and looking to finish it the right way.
Yeah, and when you bring up the James Akinjo angle, that's interesting too. Almost 16 points, a guy that's a 41% three-point shooter, over 5 assists. It seems like he'd be a really good fit. But the even more intriguing part is the reclassification. Scuda, I know, is a supreme talent, might be. I know you like him even better as a player than Sharif Cooper. It would seem to me, with Alexander moving on now, with Trey Alexander asking out, that heightens the chance that Scuda would reclassify. But I know a lot of that will have to do with those around him and what they want him to do.
Yeah, I think if Scuda would make a decision today that was just his, he'd probably already be committed at Auburn to Auburn. But I know there's some people in his corner that are interested in talking to the G League a little bit. We'll see how much pull or kind of how that goes as it's kicked down the road. But it doesn't hurt it. Again, you look at Akinjo, I mean, he's a guy that can play the point, really truly to me is the distributor, a guy that averaged 5 assists a game like you brought up. But I'm just, and I'll continue to say this. If Auburn's able to get Scoot Henderson to reclassify and he's running the 1, and Zeb Jasper's at the 2, and Alan Flanagan's at the 3, and Jabari Smith's at the 4, and Walker Kessler's at the 5, and you can bring Jalen Williams off the bench, Cambridge off the bench, and Wendell Green off the bench. It's going to be a lot of fun in Auburn Arena next year, and Auburn should have one of the most talented rosters in the country.
Well, before we move on to football, though, where does JT Thor factor in all of this decision?
I know I think Jake's still of the opinion, he'll give us his take here, but I'm not sure that they're anticipating Thor returning right now.
Yeah, no, I'd be very surprised if JT Thor came back. You never say never,
right?
But I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this, and that just goes back to the Alabama-Auburn rivalry and what Feinbaum said. If all of this comes into place, get your tickets early for the Alabama-Auburn basketball games, folks. It's going to be must-see TV. I'm telling you right now, I'm going with this again. Better than North Carolina and better than Duke. And they talk about it being the best rivalry in collegiate athletics. Both of them will be better than those two. I know Duke's retooling, but I'm just saying. From a talent perspective, and if Scoot Anderson, the word is he wants to play with Jabari Smith. if that happens, it will be major for Auburn. There's no doubt about it. But
yeah, it's going to be like going to a Globetrotters.
yeah, there you go. Well, and now speaking to pivot a little bit, we wanted to get your thoughts on Auburn A-Day, and I know you did an unbelievable live stream following both Alabama and Auburn. What was your thoughts? I guess we'll get your thoughts on Auburn first, and then we'll get a little bit of Alabama. But what was your thoughts on the Tigers?
Yeah, well, you're only going to get so much out of A-Day from a play calling standpoint, from an evaluation standpoint. But what I saw, I liked. Watching Bo Nix, I wanted to see how he'd operate under center. I wanted to see how he'd operate in the pocket if the tight ends were involved. Formationally, how Auburn was different. Wanted to see the screen game. And it really, checked off pretty much every box. Obviously, they have holes from a personnel standpoint on that roster, but we all know that, and there's really nothing outside of going to get a tackle or two and a couple wide receivers from the transfer portal that Brian Harsin can do about it right now. But I did like the flow of what I saw. I thought it was a good plan. I thought them staying in 11 and 12 personnel the whole game was pretty interesting. You know what? The thing probably the biggest takeaway that I got from it from a schematic standpoint is that I didn't see a lot of gap scheme in the run game. You didn't see a lot of power. You didn't see a lot of counter. You didn't see a lot of insert. There was a lot of zone, inside zone, mid zone, outside zone, which tells me that either they're hiding the gap scheme for the first couple big games that they play, which would surprise me a whole heck of a lot considering it's mostly base, or they don't trust the offensive line to be able to go big on big consistently. And that was one of the reasons the zone was invented, because it can hit at multiple places and you don't have to truly overpower people to be able to let the zone work. It was built to cut back and you press the point and find where it is. So from a run game standpoint, I thought that was pretty interesting. From a passing game standpoint, really liked what I saw, and not just from a route tree combination, but from a formational combination, from a varying your split, even out of the same personnel, which is something Auburn did not do last year. And if they did do something different or under the Malzahn regime, that's very predictable. I thought that looked good. Then defensively, Derek Mason was a great hire. I'm watching this personnel, the way he's kind of doctored up where everybody is. They mixed up some of the 3 down with the 4 down, and I liked it. I thought they did about as well as they could do, and nobody got hurt.
That is the most important thing, no doubt. Go ahead, Scott.
Well, yeah, and then let's shift our attention to Alabama. The largest sporting event in the country since the pandemic began, Alabama's A-Day game, the most watched on ESPN. Your thoughts on Alabama's A-Day?
Yeah, well, to me, it's the most watched one on ESPN because it's the only SEC spring game that they put on ESPN. And all the other ones were on SEC Network Plus, and I wonder why that happens and how that happens. But that's a story for another day. No, watching Alabama, I was interested to see all those new early enrollee offensive linemen they have. We know they signed an unbelievable class, and boy, those guys looked apart. Brockermeyer, Latham, those guys, they look almost physically ready. I thought they did a pretty good job watching Bryce Young operate in the pocket. I think the best coaching job Alabama's going to have to do this year falls on the offensive side of Bill O'Brien, and it's really letting Bryce Young know you do not have to be a running back playing quarterback. He's not built like Jalen Hurts. He's not built like Cam Newton. This kid can't go take a ton of hits and be fine throughout the whole year. So he's good enough to beat you from the pocket, from extending the play, from moving the pocket, whether it be sprint out, whether it be boot, waggle, whatever you want to call it. I thought he looked pretty composed, but he's got to be smart with his legs. Then, wide receiver, we know Alabama's replacing a lot, but they've got some cats. The Hall kid looked really good. Remember, they had 20 guys sitting out, including Christian Leary and some other guys out there wide. So, look, Alabama's going to be really good. Will they be able to do what they did last year? I don't think so. That's almost impossible to ask, especially offensively. But they look pretty damn good.
Yeah, and I thought that, the young talent defensively really stood out to me. And you're completely correct. I think one of the biggest keys is they've got to keep Bryce Young healthy. Probably the least experienced quarterback room Saban's ever had. But certainly Bryce is an elite talent. But the others, whether it be Paul Tyson, or we didn't see, I think due to COVID concerns, Jalen Milroe, they have to, keep him healthy, no doubt. Well, Jake, man, great stuff. We always enjoy the intel, especially about Akinjo. That's big right there to watch that development with the Auburn Tigers. with Trey Alexander moving on. But let everybody know how to connect with you and what you got coming up on the J-Boy Show.
Definitely, man. I appreciate it. You can find us. We're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It's the J-Boy Show, THE space JBOY space SHOW. Just released a show with Peter Burns from ESPN and SEC Network today, previewing some SEC for 2021. Got a big week starting next week. Got Mike Leach from Mississippi State, John Parker Wilson, Anthony Schwartz from Auburn. We're talking some NFL draft stuff. He's a guy that has a chance. So, yeah, if you like SEC sports, and don't want politics mixed in with your sports, come check us out over at the J-Boy Show. I really appreciate it, guys.
Amen. Have a great weekend, Jake. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, Jake. All right, Jay Crain with us. Let's get a break in. Hour one, we'll wrap it up with some more of your phone calls when we return.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I'm not seeing any major snags this morning. We are dealing with some wet roadway in places, so you definitely want to be on your toes. But I don't see any wreck, stalls, or traffic signal problems that are going to be a hindrance to you. 2030 Fast Track can make your clothes fall off. Allison lost 100 pounds in 7 months on the plan. A free quiz will show you if the program can work for you. 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details. Terrell Technical Services in Madison offers a full line of environmental health and safety services, including industrial hygiene, asbestos, mold, and bacterial services, Legionella testing and water management plans, lead-based paint inspections, assessments and abatement plans, environmental site assessments, LEED certified air testing, and more. Their staff holds all EPA accreditations and nationally recognized certifications and credentials to necessitate your project to completion. Give Terrell Technical Services a call today at 256-461-9278 to discuss your environmental health or safety needs. And go Army!
Want to call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline? We have a new number for you. 888-256-576-4977.
Hold it!
That's 256-576-4977.
Well, what do you know?
We promise this number will be the one we keep. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. He's bald, he's opinionated, and he's here.
You're morally reprehensible, vulgar, insensitive, selfish, stupid. You have no taste, a lousy sense of humor, and you smell.
Listen to Feinbaum, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, we got 7.5 to the music. Mike's on.
7:50 on this Friday morning. Welcome into Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And tough news. We were talking to Jake Crain, a lot of college basketball there.
Yeah.
Some details around Auburn, but tough news.
Terrible.
Tough news in the world of college basketball. Former Kentucky guard Terrence Clark, who played for Kentucky this past year. He spent one season with the Wildcats.
And he was injured for much of it because of a foot injury.
Yeah, he passed away in a car accident in Los Angeles. He was just 19. He announced in March that he would hire an agent.
He had just hired him officially yesterday.
Rich Paul. Is his agent. He was going to enter the 2021 draft after his freshman season with the Wildcats. And Clark's mother was with him at the time of the accident, said his agent, Rich Paul. As you can imagine, Kentucky Blue Nation, Kentucky fans, John Calipari, the whole Kentucky just absolutely sick overhearing this news.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so tragic. A young life gone way too soon. B.J. Boston, his teammate at Kentucky, they both declared for the draft and hired agents. He was in the car behind, from what we understand, behind Terrence Clark. He saw the whole accident happen, and from what we understand, Terrence Clark died en route to the hospital. And that's just so tragic. I'm assuming, Scott, that the mother is going to be okay. I did not hear of another fatality in the wreck.
Yeah, I have not heard.
But that is just unbelievably horrific. He had, as you said, he had just hired Rich Paul.
Yep.
I think officially yesterday or the day before, in the last couple of days. And now he is no longer with us. And when this started breaking last night and then was finally confirmed by Adrian Wojnarowski and others in the media and Kentucky, of course, it just made you sick. I mean, you saw the statement from John Calipari. They're just heartbroken. He was a 5-star kid, top 10 player in the country.
Out of Brewster Academy.
Yeah, he would have played a very significant role. It was one of the reasons their season didn't go the way everyone had planned. He got hurt early with that foot injury and did not play for the majority of the season.
He averaged 9.6 points, 2.6 rebounds, and 2 assists in just 8 games for Kentucky this season.
He played in the majority of he played in the pre-conference in one SEC game before he went down. And then he went down, and we didn't see him again until the loss to Mississippi State, in the SEC tournament opening round. And then he still wasn't himself. He wasn't fully recovered. So we really never got to see how good Terrence Clark could have been. And now to have him gone from this earth is just so sad. And thoughts and prayers go out to his mother, who hopefully is going to make a full recovery, his family, and, of course, the Big Blue Nation in Lexington.
256-576-4977. That is the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. We welcome your phone calls in on this Friday morning. If you've been paying attention to the first hour, or if you've not just paid attention and you're just now being able to tune in, we've asked everybody the question, which is still the greatest rivalry in the SEC? Is it the Iron Bowl, the Egg Bowl? Is it Alabama, LSU? Where would you rank them? Is it the world's largest cocktail party, Florida, Georgia? Simply because we've got guys from Mississippi State, or Ole Miss, I should say, talking that Mississippi State, Ole Miss has nothing on Alabama, Auburn. Feinbaum saying Florida, Georgia has supplanted Alabama, Auburn. Just your thoughts, 256-576-4977. High school baseball last night, there was a winner-take-all game at Bob Jones to see who would get into the playoffs. Between Bob Jones and James Clemens, the winner would get that second seed. Florence had already won the area. Bob Jones able to survive last night.
Yeah, 6-2, huge win for no doubt for the Bob Jones Patriots and Jared Smith. Now, James Clemens took the last game 12-9, but and took the series, but really Bob Jones needed one game,
right?
And they got it, and so the Patriots moving on. And they will be the 2 seed. They will travel to Hoover and Adam Mosley, the former Grissom coach. Speaking of Grissom, they were certainly irritated by the meltdown in Game 1 because they came over to Panther Field and dominated. They win Game 1 7-0, Game 2 9-2. So congratulations to Blake Talley and the Tigers. They are 22-12 overall. They will be the runner-up to the Sparkman Senators, and they will travel in round 1 of the playoffs next week.
Hard to believe that baseball playoffs, softball playoffs, soccer playoffs are already upon us.
I mean everything
fast.
is just going out quickly. Well, college basketball was extended due to the Alabama's run and, being a Sweet 16 team and us having March Madness back. And I'll freely admit, I need to start heading out. I may be heading out tonight, weather permitting, to Madison Academy. They're opening their playoff run. They win their area. They're outstanding. And, of course, we know Avery Seton is a huge part of that. We will be out, speaking of the Setons, tomorrow at University Kia once again, bringing you a lot of Talkin Ball conversation. Arthur and his group do a great job as a longtime sponsor for us. And so we'll be out there. But, yeah, Madison Academy, they will be I'm assuming now we'll have to double check this, Scott. I think they're playing a doubleheader today, and then an if necessary on Saturday. I think that's still how they're doing it. But the Mustangs under Coach David Presley will be taking the field tonight.
That is in class.
That would be 5A, yes.
And I'm trying to pull it up here to see if it says anything. I know I'm looking over Gunnersville. Ardmore will play tonight as well.
Yeah.
Russellville Boaz will play today as well. Madison Academy and Fairview get underway. And then the winner of that series will take on St. Clair County and Pleasant Grove. Sardis and West Point will play today as well. So those are just some of the 5A matchups that will start today.
And also Coach Joe Solano, I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Sotolano is for JP2 Catholic, of course, our good friends over there. They won their first area championship in school history this year. And so they will be hosting a playoff series tonight as well.
Some 6A matchups. Arab will take on and host Oxford. You got Buckhorn and Hartzell facing each other today. You have Hazel Green taking on Coleman today. Fort Payne will take on Springville. That is some 6A area baseball play. In Class 4A, St. John Paul II, as you mentioned, will take on Brooks. New Hope and Deschler will meet in a playoff series today. You got Wilson and North Jackson, Hamilton, Etowah, West Limestone, and Priceville will kick off their first-round series today. So a lot of baseball going on.
Good. 30. Of course, the New Hope, the alma mater of our great and friend Joe Hunk, and Andrew Dennis, former Huntsville High state champion, their head coach. Good luck to AD and the Indians against 20. So a lot of great baseball action going on. And the Madison Academy is hosting a doubleheader that will start at 5 tonight.
All right. So coming up in hour 2, we're going to kick it off. The NCAA, they may not be able to make a decision on stuff that matters, but they're messing with college football. We'll talk about that. And Alabama A&M gets called out.
You know it, and I know it. Sometimes a brand new car or truck just isn't in the budget. That's where we come in. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and I want to talk to you about the advantages of buying a Ford Gold certified used car or truck. These are low-mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties, a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive limited warranty, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Woody Anderson Ford Gold certified vehicles have passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians and come with a 24-hour roadside assistance too. You'll also get a Carfax vehicle history report and 22,000 Ford Pass reward points to use for future scheduled maintenance or other accessories. Plus, before you leave in your gold certified used car, we'll be sure to give you a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change, even new wiper blades. Gold certified vehicles at Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Good morning from the traffic center. Got a wreck on Stringfield near Blue Springs, not much to it. And we got Panoply set up in the downtown area. That may be a bit of a problem if you have to travel through that area. The Somnodent from Dr. Sandman is an easy-to-use oral device. Insurance accepted for sleep apnea and for snoring. Doctor visits are important. Please don't put them off. 350-CARE or RandallSandlin.com. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A noticeable increase in cloud cover through Friday afternoon. Temperatures, though, hanging out in the mid and upper 60s, dropping into the lower 50s as we head into the overnight. But widespread rain is also going to move into the Tennessee Valley as we head into the overnight and stick with us through at least the first half of the day on Saturday. Rain at times could be heavy, maybe coming with a couple of embedded thunderstorms. None of those thunderstorms are going to be severe. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brad Musburger's Action Update. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Baseball, the Braves at home against the Diamondbacks starting tonight. Atlanta minus 170 on the money line. Arizona at plus 145. The over-under 8.5. Boxing tomorrow night, the featherweight title bout between Emmanuel Navarrete and Christopher Diaz. Navarrete minus 1205 on the money line. Diaz at plus 800. In a super middleweight bout, Devon Nicholson facing Edgar Berlanga. Berlanga minus 3500 on the money line. Nicholson plus 1600. College football odds for the 2021 season. Alabama, the odds-on favorite to win another national championship at plus 230. Clemson and Ohio State each at plus 465, Georgia at plus 600, and Oklahoma at plus 750. I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Talkin Ball brought to you by our very good friends in Madison, Terrell Technical Services Incorporated. They offer that full line of environmental health and safety services, including industrial hygiene, asbestos, mold and bacterial services, Legionella testing and water management plans, lead-based paint inspection assessments and abatement plans, environmental site assessments, LEED certified air testing, and more. Their staff does hold all US EPA accreditations and nationally recognized certifications and credentials. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read this, but I'm seeing a bunny at a baseball game on TV. Credentials to necessitate your project to completion. Give Terrell Technical Services a call today at 256-461-9278 to discuss your environmental health or safety needs.
Jeff.
I just saw a highlight there of a Major League Baseball game, and somebody had their pet bunny with them in the stands. I guess it was bring your pet to ballpark day, and they had their pet bunny, and it's a huge bunny at the stand. I'm sorry, it really distracted me from doing that. But, Drew, we're going to kick off hour number 2. The NCAA has got a lot of major decisions at their hands. Name, image, and likeness. They've got all kinds of other things to really worry about. But apparently they wanted to mess with the overtime rules in college football first before they accomplished any of the stuff that's relatively important. Because now teams will be required to run a 2-point conversion play after a touchdown when a game reaches the second overtime period. So college football overtime rules changing.
Yeah, and then from that point forward, if you go to 3, you just alternate 2-point conversions, which is stupid because they should have kept it. I mean, I don't understand. We've had some classic games in the SEC through the years where you have, the Kentucky-Arkansas game. You have games that go 6 and 7 overtimes. I mean, I think it's exciting. When I can't help it if some of these defenses can't stop running water and they get tired and things of that nature. But it's still exciting football. And I mean, I guess I may change my mind when I see these 2-point conversions, but to me that's too simplistic. I guess it's just somebody falls down, whatever. I mean, a 2-point play that's going to decide it.
Yeah. So what their NCAA is doing now is, once you get to the second overtime, you have to go to a 2-point conversion, and then there is no more putting the ball at the 25-yard line.
You go for 2.
You go for 2 from there on out.
It totally puts the defense at a disadvantage.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Once again,
which is worse, putting a runner at second base or this overtime rule change?
Both are stupid. Both are really stupid. I would say right now putting the runner at second base, and it's Major League freaking baseball. I mean, give me a break.
All right. Well, let's go to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. I don't know if we should look forward to this or not. Jeff from the Borough.
No, it's a tragic right now. I mean, this is with this Terrence Clark situation. I mean, this is terrible.
Let's go to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Jeff from the Borough with us on a Friday. Good morning, Jeff.
You don't ever want
How's
to
it going,
that.
guys?
Doing good.
Good, Jeff.
Oh, well, first of all, they're trying to stop a 70 overtime game. We don't need to play all night long. As simple as that. We don't need to play from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Tuesday. Simple as that. We're not going to play all night. Let's just go ahead and settle it and get it be over with. Or move the ball back to the 40 or 50-yard line.
I'd rather them see that and keep the overtime the way it is. I don't. I mean, this going for 2 is just gimmicky. I think.
Move the ball back to 40, 50, make it harder.
Well, make it to the 35. So then it'd be a 50. That'd be a 52-yard field goal.
I wouldn't even mind if
put it to 50 and let them drive the ball.
Well, I wouldn't mind if they use the NFL rules, how they do it now, which is, if you kick a field goal, you win, score a touchdown on your first possession, you win. Otherwise, if you kick a field goal, the other team gets the ball, and then you have to see it. And if they score, they can win the game, or if they don't, it's over. I would almost rather see that than kind of fluky 2-point play stuff.
Well, I don't really like that neither. I mean, just play a 10-minute quarter, and whoever scores first wins. If nobody scores, it's a tie. Just do something simple as that. But they don't want to do nothing simple. But no, I see where I got called out. But I just want to say, last night, I had to work last night, so I came in last night. I DVR'd the national semifinals, the volleyball last night, and I watched that till probably about 11:30. Got on the computer and saw about Terrence Clark right on ESPN, of course. But
that's tough. That's sad news.
Really sad, man.
It's sad. He didn't play in the SEC games. Last game he played in was Louisville. He didn't play again in the tournament. So, but it doesn't matter now. And as far as that fan goes about me rooting for SEC teams, listen, I root for Kentucky only because they don't like us. Simple as that. I'm not going to root out all these SEC teams. If they don't root for, if we're in the Final Four in basketball, do you think Tennessee fans gonna root for us? You crazy as all get out. They ain't gonna root for us. It's just like if Alabama's going for a natty in football, you think Tennessee fans gonna root for you? You crazy? You gotta be kidding. Georgia and all these teams, no, they ain't gonna root for you. This ain't homie times, SEC and stuff. What you think this is? It ain't like that. It ain't like that. We're Kentucky. See, we do what we want to do. We don't test no one. As far as I'm concerned, Greg Sankey is the worst commissioner in college sports. Only why he got this job is because Mike Slide died. That's always why he got. Okay. He had no qualifications at all. That job. So I mean, it's just simple as that. I mean, he don't like Kentucky anyway. But I was hoping Barnhart would be in Omaha this weekend, but he's not going to be. He's probably going to be in Los Angeles dealing with Clark's family. I know Calipari's there. Somebody called up yesterday to show up here and said how much he hated Calipari. So I wonder how he feels now. Everybody hates us. It's simple as that. Don't give me this sorry business. I don't want to hear it. I mean, it makes somebody sick. We all know it's tragic. He's 19 years old, for goodness sakes. We all know that. I mean, and Bama fans, have a good day. And nobody thought you had a basketball team till this year. So y'all have a good day. Have a good weekend.
He's gone. Your response to it.
Oh, where'd he go? Where are we? What day is it?
Tennessee fans wouldn't root for Alabama if they were in the national championship.
Is the curmudgeon gone yet?
What?
Is he gone? I had to take a quick 30-second nap there. It was boring the hell out of me.
Mike Slive, the worst conference commissioner in America.
No, that was Sankey.
Or Greg Sankey, my bad.
I was asleep.
Yeah, he said Greg.
I was dreaming.
He said Greg Sankey was the worst college commissioner in the country because he only has a job because Mike Slive passed away.
I mean, well, Mike Slive's health took a turn. He had to retire. It was very sad. We didn't want that to happen, but
right.
I don't really think if Mike Slive, even if he were still alive today, you're saying that Kentucky wouldn't have gone 9-15 or 9-16. I guess I gave him.
I don't think you can say Greg Sankey's the worst because he kept the SEC on path this year to play football.
If the great Mike Slive, and he did an outstanding job, were still alive, Kentucky still would have sucked in basketball this year. And sorry, I don't think you were going to avoid that. When Terrence Clark was the injury, he was part of it. I mean, he's an outstanding player. Would have definitely made an impact and got better, I think, as he played during the year. But my goodness, I mean, Kentucky still would have been practice fodder for Alabama in football. But whether here or there, I
think Kevin Warren probably gets the award for worst college commissioner right now,
without a doubt. And I mean, Kentucky's good at volleyball. Congratulations to them, as you said, Scott. I mean, that's your sport. I mean,
they're taking on Texas in the national championship.
And for that's the first game all year or match, whatever you want to call it, that I'm sure Jeff watched from start to finish, considering it's probably the only thing Kentucky's nationally relevant in right now. But congratulations to them. After I woke up from I guess it was more like a minute. I got a few snoozes in there.
And speaking of volleyball, I do want to say, hey, if you drive up past Airport Road, starting in about 15 minutes, the Coastal Collegiate Athletic Conference, CCSA, they're hosting their conference beach volleyball championships. We've got, I think, 4 of the 5 nationally ranked programs. The number 1 ranked team, Florida State, they're here this weekend. So, I mean, there is some big-time beach volleyball going over there. I believe it's free to go and watch. It's over at John Hunt Park. So go on out there and check it out.
And our very loyal listener, part of the JP2 family, Rod Daly, would like to ask Jeff. He just texted me. He was like, how many national championships in football does Kentucky have compared to Alabama? If you want to keep bringing up basketball all the time.
Jeff.
Okay.
All right. I mentioned going into the break that Alabama A&M was called out.
Yes.
Okay, here's this whole story. Alabama A&M traveled down to Jackson State 2 weeks ago.
And won the game 52-43.
And won the game. And basically after that, Alabama A&M has been kind of, I mean, their Alabama A&M's head coach,
Connell Maynor.
Connell Maynor, went on his coach's show and talked about Deion. Just some little twerps there about Deion. Assistant coach from Alabama A&M, Fred T. Ferrier, just been kind of yipping a little bit, basically talking about how the Bulldogs had already won once there in Jackson. Hey, Prime, we've already won once. We're headed back to Jackson, yada, yada, yada. Well, Corey Fuller, former Florida State Seminole, went on Twitter and called out Alabama A&M and their entire coaching staff. Here's Corey Fuller.
Hi, I'm Corey Fuller. I was sent a tweet this morning from an Alabama A&M coaching staff member. Coach Maynard, y'all won a great game 2 weeks ago against Jackson State. You had 2 minutes of fame. You talked real tough on the video. You said what you had to say. You let your feelings be known. But Deion Sanders is only trying to bring spotlight, revenue, and better resources to HBCU football and to the SWAC conference. For you presidents that allow your coaches to keep trying to defame Deion Sanders, one thing we know for sure, Deion has a way of talking. He has a way of making things sound sweet and look good. But I know this for a fact. He has a harder goal to help his people. Y'all coaches that are supposed to be leaders, we have enough foolishness going on in this world, in our own communities, and against black people. But you continue to make yourself bigger than what you are for your 15 minutes of fame. That is shameful.
Strong words from Corey Fuller. That's all I'll say about that. Because in many ways, he's correct. Because Deion is just trying to get a lot of publicity for the SWAC.
Right.
And this is what the spring season was supposed to give them. But unfortunately, the COVID issues and for some schools, it almost seems like they don't want to play. It hasn't worked out as well as you had hoped. Now, for Alabama A&M, it certainly has. They've got a chance to win a SWAC championship in Jackson, Mississippi against Arkansas Pine Bluff, and we certainly hope that happens. It would be significant for our community. But again, I see in some ways where Corey Fuller's coming from.
All right, let's go to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Johnny is with us on a Friday morning. Good morning, Johnny.
Hey, guys.
Johnny, how are you?
So there's a couple of rules about the SEC chant. We all are brethren in some ways.
Yeah.
But there's just some places you can't go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a diehard Bama guy, I'll pull for communist Red China before I'll pull for office, okay? In any freaking sport, tiddlywinks, ping pong, you name it, I ain't never going to pull for them.
Okay.
And I'm never going to shout SEC if they win something.
Right. But would you do it for the rest of the conference minus Auburn?
Well, okay. And once again, that's kind of one of those things that, it depends on if like it's in a bowl game and we're 9-1 in at the conference, then yeah, we're going to kind of roll out the SEC as we're kicking everybody else's butt. But, like I said, if it comes to individual games, like I don't cry a river of tears if LSU loses a bowl game. And I don't cry if Auburn loses. I don't cry if these other teams lose. I'm not going to be down with like, oh, the SEC lost. No, that ain't going to happen. But when it comes to just as a conference pride, or if it's just to see what like if your conference has done what you expect it to do, like in baseball, or I'd be highly surprised if 4 or 5 teams aren't in Omaha for the seed up, for the World Series this year. We're a stacked conference in that sport, and so you're gonna throw out the SEC banner when this kind of things go on. But when it comes down to individual schools inside that SEC banner, you're only going to throw it out when it kind of helps make your school look good.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, Johnny. No doubt about it. And especially in football, it's difficult because the rivalries are so passionate. But they're really, when you're talking about Alabama and Auburn, it's passionate and everything. It's going to get that way in basketball with.
It's already there.
Yeah, well,
I mean, when Auburn came into Tuscaloosa last year, they were undefeated.
Yeah,
I was there, and that place was before COVID. That place was rocking.
Yeah,
and if you don't think Oates has brought the thunder, he's he's got a top 10 recruiting class. He's got kids trying to come into that program now that get his style. He has an exciting brand of basketball. And, if we just make half our free throws that we missed against UCLA, we would have probably made a Final Four run this year.
Yeah, it would have. I definitely would have liked their chances against Michigan.
But but sometimes you get in gyms that people just don't like shooting in, and we did not play well in that gym either time we played there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Hinkle, yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Hi. Thanks for the call there.
Thank you, Johnny.
He brings up a good point, though. Okay, so if you're Kentucky, obviously you desperately probably don't want Tennessee to win in anything. But you would want the rest of the SEC. If you're Alabama or if you're Auburn, chances are you probably don't want one of the other two to win whatever side of the fence you sit on. You don't want the other one to win. But if you're an Alabama fan, you don't want LSU to win anything, do you?
It sometimes it's all about the coach too.
Okay,
like, whether you like the coach or not, just like Lane Kiffin. I know what he did at Alabama, but good Lord, get tired of the sophomore crap. So, not a big Lane Kiffin guy. Mike Leach is crazy, but in a good way. So you always want to hear what he has to say. Personally, Philip Fulmer, throw up my mouth. There's no way I'd root for anything he was coaching. So, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Just being honest. But a lot of times it comes down to like LSU baseball. Always been a fan of Paul Mainieri's. I know that some LSU fans right now are trying to get rid of him, which is insane. But because they're having an off year right now in baseball. But the SEC is a meat grinder in baseball. There's no doubt about it. So, and then I always liked Ron Polk. I know he can be very opinionated on stuff, Always admired him. So a lot of times if you're going to root for someone, what it comes down to is, can you stand the coach? Spurrier always wanted to wipe the smirk off his face.
Right.
And that he'll take to his grave. He lost twice in the same year to Mike DeBose.
Earlier in the show, the first hour, we were asking you, hey, if it doesn't exist now, what college football rivalry or what rivalry would you want to see that doesn't exist right now? On Facebook Live, Cheryl Hartsmith said Texas and Texas A&M.
Yeah.
She would like to see that one. Rod Daly, it says Alabama versus Notre Dame, a 20-year home and home series. Now, they do have one coming up very soon, but not anytime in the next year or so. I believe it's, 5 years, 6? When does that one come up with Notre Dame? Alabama, Notre Dame?
It's just several years down the road.
Okay. We do have one announcement, though. An Alabama quarterback has entered the transfer portal. No, it's not any of the big ones. Jeff George's son has entered the transfer portal.
He never played. He was, hauling back from Pennsylvania, a walk-on got in and threw one pass.
Right.
George did not get in to the game at all. I'm not surprised. I'm kind of surprised he came to Alabama to begin with. But I guess he wanted to develop, get in that program, get some exposure. He'll probably move down maybe to the FCS level. But no, I mean, he was never going to play at Alabama. Sorry. It was great seeing Jeff George on the sidelines and stuff. And, of course, I was pinch hitting on the drive earlier this week, and we talked to Trevor Maddich of ESPN. Didn't have flattering things to say about his former teammate Jeff. Just basically said he did what he kind of flew with his own hat, kind of by his own seat of his pants. He really didn't listen to the coaches.
I heard that, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
said he had as good
Brandon.
the same thing. He's got as good an arm as you'll ever see.
Right.
Pure passer, but not the most coachable guy.
All right, let's get one more call in before the break. Brandon is with us this morning. Good morning, Brandon.
Morning, Brandon.
Good morning. You're talking about the rivalry. It really wouldn't be much of a rivalry, but I'd like to see Alabama and Georgia Tech start playing again.
Well, they are on the schedule.
Are they?
I know. I just like. It would be nice if we could get them as an every year or every other year to play.
Yeah.
And if I could add another one, I would like to add Michigan. I mean, they signed that no-brains loser to 7 more years, so that's almost 7 more victories we could guarantee if we could get them on the schedule. Add Georgia Tech and Michigan.
Michigan doesn't want any part of Alabama football. Just ask Dan.
Jim Harbaugh doesn't either.
Hey, and can we make Ole Miss MoneyGram? Since they're kind of the Walmart of the SEC.
Works for me.
Is MoneyGram still around?
Yeah, if you ever have to go to a Walmart customer service, it's there. I can see it from the register. You can send money for $8. So I guess that would keep from cutting into the profits.
2030 and 2031, way down the line, we're going to have a home at home with Georgia Tech and Alabama.
And they'll still be asking Saban when he's going to retire.
That would be interesting.
Well, that's 8 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I think he's going to hang around long enough to see if he can break Bears' regular season winning record, and then I think he'll hit the happy trails after that. He wants to own all the records, I think.
Okay. Interesting thought there. Good rivalry games, though, too, Brandon. Good rivalry. That would be good to see.
Hey, we got a caller that needs to have a rivalry versus annex, but I won't say who. I'll just be nice today. Roll Tide.
Yeah. We all know who that is. He steals the show every time he calls in. Let's take a break. It's 8:23. Got to take a break, Ken. Final guess of the morning when we come back.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a wreck in Morgan County now, 67 and Eva Road. It's a no injury. Sounds like they're moving it to the side of the road. One on Stringfield near Blue Spring, no injury reported there. And we got Panoply downtown. Be careful around the park. You can get Popeye Shrimp Tackle Box or the Surf and Turf for $5. It's 8 crunchy buttermilk shrimp or 4 regular shrimp with a side and a biscuit. Popeye's Jordan Lane, North Parkway, and 72 at Jeff Road. Captain Nick in the Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other. And at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Ann Adams. Ann, I understand you have some exciting news.
Yes, Wes, I do. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services was just recognized in the 30th Annual Harris Poll Equitrin as the Real Estate Agency Brand of the Year and the most trusted real estate brand.
That is awesome news, Ann. Great companies in Huntsville, Alabama, winning awards is what we want. Is it a great time to list your home?
Yes, it is. The inventory is low and the market is heating up.
And I understand you're also looking for agents.
I am. We are so busy, Wes. We need agents to keep up with the demand.
Ann Adams and Rise Real Estate has been doing business in North Alabama for the last 35 years. If you want to do business with someone you can trust, she has been writing contracts since she was 9 years old. Call Ann today at 256-337-2625.
This is Chuck Oliver. Listen to me coming up at noon today. Now, back to Talkin Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ryan's ready.
All right, it's 8:26 here on a Friday morning. Welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And we have had quite the conversations this morning. We have started this show like a brush blaze. I mean, it was just on fire. We started the show on fire this morning. And Jeff from the Borough, again, top of the hour, helped fuel the fire. It has been a great show.
It has. It's been a very lively one. And our next guest is with us. He is the host of the longest-running radio program in the City of Champions in Tuscaloosa, and that is host of the game on Tide 100.9. He told me something years ago when I got in this business. He said, always remember to have fun. Well, we've had a lot of fun this morning.
We had a lot of fun all week.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's going to have a lot of fun when we ask him this question.
Are brothers twins? Or twins brothers?
I don't know about that one. I mean, he's not a twin. But, yeah, that's been one of the topics this week. We've been trying to tell someone on our show that twins are brothers. But we're also going to ask him about the best rivalry in college football, the best rivalry in the SEC. And does he agree with Paul Feinbaum or disagree? I think we all know the answer to this question about Georgia and Florida. And that is our one and only North Alabama native, Ryan Fowler. Ryan, welcome back to Talkin Ball here on 97.7 The Zone. Good morning.
Man, it is good to be on with you guys. It sounds like you guys are having a lot of fun, and we always appreciate the partnership with you and Scott and with Steve in the afternoons and Wes. And it's always fun to be on with you guys up in the Rocket City. What have you guys got into? A brother is not a twin. Twin's not a brother.
We have a caller from Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Jeff from the Borough.
And Jeff,
well, that might explain.
Yeah. And Drew was paying him a compliment the other day,
twice this week,
and talked about recruiting. And he said, "Hey, congratulations to Kentucky. You got the Wade brothers." And our caller said, "No, Drew, they're twins. Twins are not brothers."
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, we okay. I mean, I guess I got to go look this one up. I mean, how would they not be? Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, I mean,
I know you have a free for all Friday every week on the game, but I'm not sure that one's come up yet, Ryan.
No. But no, that one's not come up. I mean, we've had a crazy week this week, but it's a lot of celebration. But I mean, this is one I'm gonna have to throw out to the audience. So I know talk radio has went really, really crazy. Okay. So this week I have learned, because I work with the university students. We get about 2 or 3 a show that work with, and some of them are really, really good, and then others maybe just kind of working their way up through the kind of talk radio type scene. And so they told me earlier this week that I was the least drippiest person in the building.
Drippiest?
Yeah. Do you know what drip means?
Isn't that having something to do with your clothes?
Yeah, so Drew, you and I don't know, Scott might be in a different category. You and I, we would be the least drippiest.
The drippiest at our station right now, and unfortunately today will be his final day amongst us, is stylistically as Joe Hunk. He's the drippiest.
Okay, so that's what they tell us is clothing. Okay, it's not about name brands. I mean, I wear Columbia stuff every single day, but it's not about brands. It's about all this different stuff. But they also told me that you guys were Scott, myself, and Drew and Steve. We're probably within 5 or 6 years apart of all of us.
Yeah.
And I remember now Wes. He's kind of the elder gentleman, of our group. So Wes, this really doesn't apply to you. But they were telling me that I said, so how can I become a part of the Drip Club?
Well, and they told me that if I could get me a fanny pack or a man purse, because that's now back in style, that I would now become at least a halftime member of the Drip Club.
So do you have a fanny pack now?
I guess the fanny pack is actually coming back in style.
Wow.
So yesterday we had a remote, and we had a couple of callers who showed up in a fanny pack just to make fun of our kids and show them how uncool fanny packs really are for men.
Wow.
I mean, I think they're uncool. I think they're uncool for anybody, but definitely for dudes, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did not see that where we were going with all of them.
I never thought fanny pack would come up. I would admit that. Not with the fanny pack.
Or a man purse.
Okay,
What's the best man purse? What's the best man purse
the
to
man
get?
purses, aren't those the ones you put across?
Well, it's some kind of. It's some kind of like. I called them. I told them they were talking about pasta dishes because that's what it sounded like me. But they were talking about some kind of Gucci gotcha, Gucci something.
They did Gucci, yes.
Gucci. It's a Gucci pan per man. So anyway, I was making fun of it. They tell me that I guess some of these NFL players wear it, which I don't do what they do just because they do it. If they want to do it, let them do it. I cover the sports side of things. I don't cover the apparel side, but I'm going to stick with my khaki pants, long sleeve, Columbia shirt, maybe a polo if I'm trying to go, somewhere a little fancy, maybe a button down for something a little bit more nice, like a funeral or church, wedding, something. But that's, I'm looking for comfort. That's where I've been for like the last 15 years.
Well, I can tell you this on Ryan Fowler and I's. We've known each other for a few years now. We've been on some road trips together. One of Ryan, the closest I've seen to Ryan being in a kid on Christmas morning is being at a Columbia outlet.
Oh man! Hey, listen, when we do these college football playoff things, I'll drive forever to go get a Columbia outlet, man. Listen, I'm a fanatic Columbia stuff. Probably 90% of my clothing is all from Columbia. So anyway, but yeah, I need to find me a man purse where I can be in the cool kids club. And I'm always laughing. I either call them millennials, which they're really not millennials, but I like to call them that anyway. And then I call them snowflakes, and they're part of the woke. It's really, really cool that it's amazing how all the young people have the same opinion. And I tried to explain, if 100 of us in our age group, if we were just trying to decide on pinto beans and pork and beans, or baked beans, which one is better, or potato salad or coleslaw, or wheat bread or white bread, like there's no way that I could get 95 people out of 100 to agree on any topic. Alabama and Auburn, there's no way I could get 100 people in a room and say, but every single one of them have the same opinion. Like, it blows my freaking mind that literally all of them have the same opinion, regardless of topic, anything. Like, you could talk about hamburgers, and it's like a book that they subscribe to. And so I've got to read this book where I'll be really, really cool, and I'll make the man purse edition, and then I'll realize I've been doing it wrong here for the last 15 or 20 years.
Ryan Fowler joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Ryan, let's get back to some football talk here. Your thoughts on the spring game as a whole from Alabama?
Yeah, what kind of conversations have been going on after that talent extravaganza Saturday?
Well, okay, so we've been discussing this. When you look at this game and you kind of break it down just from a talent perspective, if you're just looking out there and you're looking at this team and you're going, my heavens at the talent, my heavens. Look at the amount of talent on one football field. Now, keep in mind, there was quite a few guys, I'm giving air quotes here, even though you guys cannot see on the radio, medical reasons. Well, we all know what that is. Even though Nick Saban didn't say it. So we've got close to, 15, if not more guys. That's just the guys that we think we know of. But Nick Saban pretty much refused to tell us last Thursday night who those players were. He said if it was a college football playoff game, that he would disclose us. It's an 8-day game. He's not going to disclose us. So a lot of starters. But just with what we were able to see, the guys that we were able to see, that team's loaded. And it's just hard to believe that you lose 3 out of the top 5 offensive linemen. Landon Dickerson, I ran into him at a sporting goods store here on Thursday, actually Wednesday night, and we'll talk with him for a couple of minutes. And you can see why his team really enjoys him. And you look at all the players that will go, and they've got a chance next week, less than a week actually, to put 5 to 7 guys in the NFL. I mean, Mike Tillier, which the guy I think you guys featured yesterday, I think he's got 7 guys.
That would be a record. That would be the all-time record. That would be unbelievable.
Yeah. So he's got 7 guys. He's got Christian Barrymore and Landon Dickerson kind of slipping there. He's got Najee. He's got the wide receivers. He's got Patrick Surtain. He's got Mac Jones. Check it, but I think the back of his book, he's got 7 of those guys from Alabama. So you think about removing that. They still roll out a roster that is the best in college football, looking at it from top to bottom. Now, I know the folks over in Clemson would say, hey, whoa, not so fast. But just going through everything that they're going to lose, and we'll kind of get a confirmation of that next week, the talent level. But look at this Alabama team that they are ready to, once again, prove it. So then we've turned that into a debate. When you look at the teams that are here that realistically have a chance of winning a national title, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson. Sorry, Steve Moulton. The frauds from Athens are not there yet, okay? They may be there at one point, but, JT Daniels get a lot of hype, but I'm still not convinced that Kirby is a championship caliber coach. He may get lucky. He may be a part of the conversation. So right now there's 4 teams, maybe 5 teams that are part of the conversation. So then we tied it into, if Alabama's able to do this, what is happening at these other places that have not allowed them to have success? And that's been kind of the debate all week of looking at the talent level from last Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. I think it's significant. I do think the questions that you have, the offensive line, punter, and to me, and then offensive line goes into keeping Bryce Young healthy, and then the one corner spot opposite Job. I think the answers are already there. But the amazing thing is they've still got guys like Dallas Turner, Kyrie Jackson, and JoJo Earl coming in May. So there's going to be more added, and we'll see about the portal with Toa Toa. And that has been a topic I've broached, Ryan, this week. My take is, after seeing that football team the last 2 weeks, that Toa Toa is not needed. He would be an extreme luxury, and certainly if Nick Saban thinks he can smooth it over with the chemistry on the football team, he may try to add the young man because we believe they're going to pass the interconference transfer rule within the SEC. But I don't think necessarily that they need Toa Toa. Certainly, I know they're going to continue to pursue JT Tuilamoau, the D lineman, the high school young man, in June. But Toa Toa, to me, after what I saw that linebacker core, Ryan, with Deontay Lawson and some of the young players, I'm not sure he's needed right now.
Well, and it kind of goes back, and you might get your producer maybe the last segment play it from, because I know Steve shared it with me on Thursday night, so I know he's already got it cut. But it was Nick Saban talking about the how they're going to adopt to the transfer portal and the new transfer rule, how they're going to adjust that and what they're going to be able to do. So you back up a couple of minutes and you kind of start analyzing what he said. He said, we're always looking for ways to improve our team. I'm kind of like you. Even after the game, I was probably not as close to you as I am right now because I've had a little bit more time to think about it. I just think it would probably disrupt the development side of things. And the other part that you don't want to do, because Henry T is a one and done, correct? I mean, he's
more than likely, yes, even though he has 2 years of eligibility.
Yeah, so he would probably be a one and done. So he would probably be a guy that would snap out and 1 year and he's back in the NFL draft. Now, that would look good for Alabama. They would kind of add that to that. But I think it would hurt your development because you've also now got to manage your roster different. You got to manage your roster. You got to be able to go out there and convince those guys that you're not going to do that. If you do that, I wonder how much. Let's. I'm going to paint a scenario because this could happen anywhere. This could happen quarterbacks. This could happen linebackers. I wonder if they'll manage it in a sense of, let's say, the deadline to declare is May the 1st. I think that's what the date's going to be. I think it's different this year, but let's just say it was May 1st. I wonder if coaches are going to walk up to that midnight deadline and have an announcement where it almost prevents some of their players from leaving. Does that make any sense? I mean, like they're going to walk this thing up to the deadline. I'm not saying that's what happened with this Henry T. I'm just saying in general, if you've got a guy coming in, I don't know if there's a benefit to announce that prior to the deadline. And so that it kind of prevents you from losing some of your other guys. So if you get a couple of guys in, you transfer, and you go, hold on a minute, whoa, they must have other plans, then you kind of hit that transfer portal and have the immediate eligibility. But you just don't want to be a coach that's known for getting all transfers, because I think that hurts you in the regular typical recruiting cycle.
Not that we were going to see a lot about the offense on Saturday in regards to what Bill O'Brien may bring or may not bring to a play calling duties. But when you watch Bryce Young play, did you leave with a sense of, hey, this guy is starting to mature into a starting quarterback, starting to be able to say, okay, if the game is getting late, I'm starting to see a mature level that, hey, if we put the game on his shoulders, he can do what we need him to do?
Yeah, I think so. I look at Bryce Young, and I could see a development. We've heard a lot about the separation between, the first quarterback, and really I think we've made it difficult for Nick Saban to announce that Bryce Young is not the guy. I mean, Nick Saban has danced around this topic more than any quarterback conversation that I can even think about remembering. I mean, normally we hear the same verbiage, right? Take the bull by the horns. I don't pick the quarterback. The team picks the quarterback. Who does the team believe in? I mean, those are the conversations that we've heard in all of these quarterback battles, except this spring. I mean, it's almost like Bryce Young is forcing Nick Saban to come out and say, hey, he's the starting quarterback. He's did everything except that. But you kind of see why. Because he looks like that next guy that can step up and step into a role that can perform at a high level. That's just what I see in Bryce Young. I think he's got all the skill set. And one thing that, we're going to be able to see that we didn't witness on Saturday is his ability to escape and extend the play. We didn't see a lot of that. He stayed in the pocket, kept his eyes down the field. And other quarterbacks here at Alabama, when they bail out and they run, they haven't always done that. They've always been one of those guys, when it's bail time, they're off to the races. And I thought Bryce Young, for even the little times that he was able to move outside of the pocket, he still kept his eyes down the field and is able to make it down, through his third and fourth progression. That's pretty incredible for a youngster at his level. You kind of understand why Bruce Rollinson, am I right about that? His head coach out in modern day, is it Bruce Rollinson? Okay,
yes.
So that's why he said what he did, because this guy is definitely a step. I wonder, well, and I guess this would be really his first true spring, but I almost wonder if he's ahead of Tua in some of that progression reading ability, because it looks like, because Tua was one of those guys that he kind of did a lot of pre-reads prior to the snap, and I know Bryce is doing that as well. But I'm talking about in play, when the ball has snapped, he still got his eyes downfield reading that defense. I think that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and Ryan is the last few minutes with you. We're talking to Ryan Fowler, host of the game, Tide 100.9. I was just talking about some of the storylines. What are some of your concerns, aka or storylines you're going to follow into the summer, and then what are the biggest questions in your mind for Alabama as they head into fall camp 2021 under Nick Saban?
Well, we're 135 days away from Miami. I mean, we're going to talk a lot about, the dynasty of Miami, the dynasty of Alabama. I think that'll be a big topic of conversation. I don't really have a lot of questions for this team, and I know that's not really good for talk radio, but I kind of have to be honest with my audience. I think this team, it would take a lot for this team not to be in the college football playoff, and I think you see that with the ESPN Football Power Index of trying to project what type of success this team will have. But looking at this team, yeah, I mean, we could talk about the offensive line, but guys, there's so many guys there. They're going to be able to get 5 units I'm sorry, my dogs just decided to get up here and growl. I'm not sure if you guys heard that, but anyway, they're
Hello.
I guess maybe they were talking about some kind of linebacker.
Riley and Sampson, here they come.
Yes, and I mean, I'm talking about full-blooded Weimarangers. Matter of fact, we got them up in y'all's area, one of them, and so maybe that's what they're talking about. Just big shout out to the Weimaranger Club up in Huntsville, Alabama. But no, just looking at this team, I just think that this team, it will take a lot for them not to be in the college football play. I mean, think about what it would take. And so I came up with 2 reasons why Alabama would not be a part of the college football playoffs. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Nick Saban retires midseason, and a quarterback goes down. I mean, that's really the only way that I can see Alabama not part of the conversation in December.
Yeah, that's significant. Well, Ryan,
and I can't come up with anything else. I mean, I've tried. I mean, I cannot come up with anything else that could prevent Alabama. Anyway, it sounds like you guys are going to wrap up.
But just remember, twins are not brothers, according to Jeff.
And you guys have got some highly intelligent people.
Oh, we do.
In the Rocket City. I mean, per capita, I think the largest engineer population outside of Silicon Valley out in California.
Yep.
But you guys kind of like us. Y'all got a few stragglers out there that are not pulling their weight and kind of bringing y'all's average down a little bit. So just make sure you keep those guys. I mean, I saw you earlier with a paper shredder. I wonder where that guy would rank. Anyway, we'll continue with more. We'll see you guys next week, man. Thank you guys so much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, we've shut that one down. Yeah. We've shut down that
more
one.
ways than one.
All right, let's get him.
Hey, cue up Old Yeller for me.
I got that for you when we return. Plus a bunny.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Just picked up a medical call at 53 and Nick Pitchard, but they cleared it away. Just be careful around that area. Southbound on the Beltline near front indicator, that one may have a minor injury. 67 and Eber Road in Morgan County should be off the road, and they should be about wrapped up on Stringfield at Blue Spring. Don't forget Panoply downtown around Big Spring Park and a traffic signal problem in Decatur at Danville and Caradale. Routine care to heart failure. Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialists have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Hey, this is Justin with the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. As we all get back to a new normal, I just wanted to let you know about the best bar and grill spot in North Alabama with the best entertainment as well. It is the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Every Monday night is steak night. Every Thursday night is bike night. Plus, we have the best food around, from the Mexican pasta to the best Cuban sandwich you could ever ask for. It's all at the Furniture Factory, located at the corner of Meridian and Pratt. Find us online, FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on 2 services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located
about 6.5 left. Mike's on.
Kia.com. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel and Twitch. Just search 97.7 ESPN. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7.
6.5 to the music. Here we go.
The endorsement deals for the #1 pick in the NFL draft, Trevor Lawrence. By this time next week, Trevor Lawrence will have heard his name being called from the Jacksonville Jaguars as the #1 pick. Draft 1 week from Thursday. Trevor Lawrence has scored an endorsement deal with Gatorade. The multi-year deal could be worth up to $2 million. The former Clemson Tiger star is the first quarterback signed by sports drink giant since Cam Newton in 2012. So Trevor Lawrence getting his first. I know what you're watching.
Yeah, we're watching twins that are brothers on Feel Good Friday on ESPN, Jeff. Take your nose out of the Kentucky volleyball replay for 5 seconds to watch this. Twins are brothers, but have a good weekend. But at least you're not yellow.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of another first, last night at the San Francisco Giants baseball game,
yeah,
the Oracle Park, 22-year-old history of Oracle Park, they have never had a service bunny or a service rabbit attend a baseball game until last night. They did. The rabbit, which is 4.5 months old, named Alex, earned plenty of screen time and has earned plenty of screen time because it is a service rabbit. And they were able to bring it to the baseball game. The first time in Oracle Park history that a bunny rabbit has attended the baseball game. Just wanted to throw that out there. I'm enamored by a service rabbit.
A service rabbit.
Yes.
Guess you could feed it carrots too.
Yes, you could.
Yeah.
There you could.
Probably not as dangerous as a panda.
You could. You should get a service rabbit.
Oh my goodness.
You could name it Crimson.
Make Hassenpfeffer.
Anyway, we move on. College baseball this weekend. Tim Corbin has penned a letter to Vanderbilt fans. Basically, they have got a huge series. Does Vanderbilt again this weekend? They have got Mississippi State coming to town. And the good news is they are going to allow more fans to attend the Vanderbilt baseball game. They are going to allow 40% capacity, which will come out to 1,480 fans for this weekend's Vanderbilt game. But Tim Corbin penned a letter saying, hey, you know what? The parking deck across the street looks awfully attractive. If you want to come and set up and cheer and be rowdy there, they welcome you. Sooner or later, Nashville will wake up and let fans attend games. But right now, they are slowly letting people come back. But Tim Corbin trying to urge people to come to games, coming off that Tennessee series this weekend where a lot of fans were in Knoxville.
Amen, Coach. It starts with a D and ends with a T. They need help. Moron award every day.
He says, be the energy you want to attract in others around you. When that happens, we all create the environment we need and want. See you soon. Let's go, Corbs. That's part of what he wrote to Vanderbilt fans. NFL draft talk. We do have got some talk here I do have one thing to play here, if it will come up. This was from, hold on, I'll let you listen to it. This is Chris Mortensen, ESPN NFL draft or NFL expert. Here is Chris Mortensen has to say on Mac Jones.
What I am hearing is that this is Mac Jones, and it's in the 90th percentile in terms of likely to be picked. There, when they made that trade from 12 to 3, that was the pick. But there was a 10% margin there, and I trying to sort out, well, who's got the advantage between Trey Lance and Justin Fields on that remaining percentage. I was told Trey Lance probably over Justin Fields. But this Mac Jones, right now, you would have to put your money down. I know Vegas says differently, that it will be Mac Jones.
Deal with it, Ryan Clark, you clown.
So Chris Mortensen hearing that the San Francisco 49ers are 90% sure they're going to take Mac Jones at number 3.
Yep, and we are going to, as we said, we're going to be at University Key on University Drive tomorrow from 10 to noon. And I wanted to let everybody know we're going to have a very special guest. He recently, just yesterday, was named officially the new head basketball coach of the Buckhorn Bucks. But we are going to talk to Patrick Harding, our great friend who has been on with us.
Yes.
Won 500 games at Albertville, the all-time leading as far as in wins in the history of Albertville Aggie basketball, the greatest coach in their history. And he will be moving on to be the new head basketball coach of the Buckhorn Bucks. Great move for North Alabama and our community. I mean, we hate to see him leave Albertville, but he's coming to Madison County. And so congratulations to Patrick, and we look forward to speaking with him tomorrow. Got some great young talent coming up over there. Buckhorn's got a very nice history in basketball, a couple of state titles. And so Patrick going to try to elevate that program much like he did for all of his 20 years at Albertville.
All right. Wow. That is 2 hours just like that. It has been a fun week. We've had a good week.
40.
With the exception of some
twins, not brothers. That's where we ran off the tracks.
What else have we learned? Oh, drip.
Yeah.
Drip.
We're not drippy, but Joe is, and he'll be on with the Czar from 10 to noon.
20 seconds.
And we will have the drive tonight. It will be abbreviated due to Alabama baseball with Kentucky. I believe starting
I don't
at 5:30.
think I would be last in the drippiest of the building
10 seconds.
as far as drippy goes.
Well,
so
have a drippy weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 10.
Fit?
I don't know.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-5